Hi, thank you for watching this video on APA citations, aka you can totally do this, presented by the Hayden Memorial Library at Citrus College. We're so excited you're here. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you are probably wondering is, what is APA? Well, APA refers to the American Psychological Association. It's the main citation style that we use for papers written in the sciences, social sciences, business. A lot of speech and communications classes use this as well. So if you are studying, say, biology, chemistry, sociology, psychology, nursing, if you're studying to be an accountant, get really familiar with APA. You're going to be using it a lot. Pictured on the slide is the APA publication manual, which we do have available to check out here in the library, but I'm going to give you some helpful tips in this video as well. So you may be wondering, why on earth do I have to cite anyway? Who cares where I got my information as long as I have it and it's correct? Oh, that's a very good question. Let's talk about why we need to cite, shall we? The first reason is, of course, because plagiarizing is stealing, and stealing is bad. It's also really frowned upon by the college, and you don't want to fail your class for failing to cite something, because you want credit for your work, and so do other people. So think about it that way. When you do something really well, you want people to acknowledge that you've done it really well. The authors of the articles that you're using feel the exact same way. Because we're continuing the scholarly conversation. Yes, welcome to the scholarly conversation. You are now a part of it and have been a part of it since you wrote your first paper for school. So that being said, in every scholarly setting, we cite our work and we show to give credit. And also because research is really hard and we want to show off our smarts. Like, your professors have all been to college and all written a bunch of research papers. They know how difficult it is. So really impress them by showing them a great APA style citation paper where you are showing them, hey, look at how much research I did for your assignment. I promise it'll really make them think very highly of you. And now you're thinking, okay, I get why I need to use APA style. How do I go about using APA style? And I am so glad that you asked, because we now come to the part of our presentation where we go live. So what I'm going to do is pull up Microsoft Word over here. So you can see I've been working with this before. If you don't see any templates down here in this area, what you can do is type in APA. And it's going to pull up several templates for you. We're going to pick APA style paper. And this is great. It's going to download the exact template I need for my paper, so I can just plug my information in. The first part up here is the running header, which is the shortened title of your paper. And the first page, your title page, will always say running head, : title of your paper. Then you'll have the full title of your paper down here, along with your name, your college, and if you have any notes such as grant funding or an address that you want to put in. Most people probably won't, but it's here just in case. The second page, notice that in the header it no longer says running head, but it does still have the shortened title up here. This will be the case for the rest of the paper. And the second page of your paper is going to be your abstract, which is a summary of your paper. It's between about 150 and 250 words, as we see here, not indented, and it's going to give the reader-grader an idea of what your paper is about. This is also where you can put keywords that describe your paper. So if somebody was searching for information about a particular topic and you wanted your paper to come up in their search, what words would you put in here? Like if you were writing about students dealing with housing insecurity and their use of public libraries, you might use keywords students, housing insecurity, public library, things like that. So then as we scroll down, we can see that it gets a little bit more complicated here. I still have my header, and then it goes into headings and subheadings and all that stuff. Check with your professor to see what they want from you. A lot of them aren't going to require all of this, in which case you can just delete it and write the body of your paper right in here. The good thing about this is because you're using the APA style template, your margins and everything are already set up. So we're going to scroll down, and the last page of our paper is going to be our references page. So this is where you are going to put all of your excellent research that you've already done. This is where we're going to show it off. And this is also where your in-text citations will direct to. Now don't worry, we're going to get to in-text citations in a little while. But this is the list that they will be referring your reader back to. Now you want to make sure that you format these citations properly. Spacing, capitalization, very important in APA style, and you certainly don't want to find yourself losing points for something silly like not capitalizing something. So you're probably saying, okay, so how exactly do I go about formatting that citation then? And again, really glad you asked. Let's take a look. So the citation structure in APA is actually pretty simple. We're going to start out with your author's name, last name, and first initial, not their whole first name. And we're going to put a period after that because we're closing the thought out. So think of it like you're writing a paragraph and your author's name is one thought, period, end of sentence. Then we're going to put the date that your article was published, just the year in parentheses. Again, follow it with a period because we're ending that thought. Then we're going to put the title, your article title, written in sentence case. And what that means is that it's written like a sentence with only the first word and proper nouns being capitalized. So you wouldn't capitalize every word in the title. That will have a period after it as well. Then you're going to put the journal title after the article title. That's going to be written in italics and have a period. So we have separate thoughts here. Author's name, one thought, date, one thought, title, one thought, journal title, one thought. Then we get into the volume, issue number, and page numbers of the article. So that's all going to be the thought all by itself. The volume number will be followed by the issue number in parentheses, comma after the issue number, and then the page numbers. Now you won't put any letters with these numbers. It won't be like V17, I22, just numbers in APA. So if you're putting letters in there, take them out, not proper APA style. Finally, what you're going to put is the place where you got the article from. If you're citing a book, you will not need to do this, but we know that a lot of our students, most of our students now, are dealing with online research and online databases and journals, so this has become a pretty important step. Right, so now that we've seen what our citations look like, why don't we go ahead and give it a try together? Things are always easier when you try them yourself, right? So we're going to go back live. I'm going to go back to my APA style paper here. And then I'm going to take an article that I pulled off of one of the library databases. And I'm going to go ahead and attempt to cite it myself. So let's go ahead and give it a try, shall we? The first thing I need is the author's name. So I can see that the author's name here is Chris Richards. So I'm going to do Richards, spelling is important, comma C, and then the year that the article was published. So I'll put my author's name, period, parentheses, year my article was published, 2004. I can see that up here, period after that. Now I'm going to put the title of my article, and this becomes a little interesting because as you can see, mine has a few hiccups in it, right? So how would I go about doing this? Okay, so what I'm going to do is do what are we, question mark, sex and intimacy. So what are we? I would only capitalize the what, because that's the first word in the sentence, but then that sentence ends. The author puts a question mark after it. So the next sentence starts with adolescence, so I would then capitalize that. I wouldn't capitalize sex and intimacy. However, so the title of the article is What Are We? Adolescence, Sex, and Intimacy in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So let's put in. Now Buffy the Vampire Slayer is the name of a television show. So it's a proper noun, so I would capitalize that. So that is how my capitalization should look in APA style for this article. It is technically sentence case. Just think about if you were writing a sentence in your paper, how you would capitalize that, and then that is how you would capitalize your article title for APA style. So what I'm going to do now is put my journal article in, and I'm going to italicize it. I'm just hitting Control and I to get italics, but you can also click the little I up here. And my journal title is Continuum, Journal of Media and Cultural Studies. So let's put a space there. Continuum Journal of Media and Cultural Studies. The journal title is not in sentence case. So, okay, I have my journal title. I've finished that. I'm going to take my italics off. Now I need to do my volume, issue, and page. Okay, this article is great. It has all of that information right up here. So I can see that it's volume 18, issue number 1, and pages 121 through 137. Now I need to know where I got the article from. Some articles that you retrieve from databases will have DOIs, or digital object indicators. This does not, unfortunately. If it did, we would just put DOI and plug that number in and be done. But because it doesn't, I need to do a little hunting. So I would need to find out where I could get this article online. I got it from a database, but I need to put the home page of the journal as my source. So what I'm going to do is just copy and paste because I don't want to type continuum again. And then take this over into Google here, or whatever your preferred search method is, and pop it right in here and take a look. So I look at my results. I don't need to find my exact article. I don't need to find a link to that. I just need a link to the home page. And I can see right here, Journal of Media and Cultural Studies, journal homepage. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It gives all the different issues and volumes available. That's perfect. So I'm going to copy this and take it over here and go into retrieved from and throw my hyperlink in there. Great. This looks excellent. There is one thing though. When you are working in APA, it always needs to be double spaced, which this is, but if it goes below one line, which I feel like most of your citations will, it needs to have a hanging indent. Don't worry, this is really easy to accomplish. All we do is we highlight our citation, we right click on it, we click on paragraph, and you can see up here where it says special, indentation special, none, I'm just going to go to hanging. And boom, there it is. So when you're working with the library databases, most of them will have a menu here on the side of the screen that allows you to do different things with the article, including cite it. In EBSCO, it's this little yellow paper here. So if I click on it, it gives me all of these different citation styles. So I scroll down here to APA. Now I always like to caution students that when using this, remember this is still a computer. So it only knows what I tell it, right? It's not thinking. If I import something incorrectly, it's not checking and double checking. So I can see right away in this particular APA reference that the capitalization is off. It is not written in sentence case. So if I were to just copy and paste this into my paper, I would get points taken off because my sentence casing would be wrong. And again, we don't want to do that. We've worked really hard on this paper. You don't want to get points taken off because you didn't capitalize something properly. So this is a great jumping off point, and it's a really, really great tool that we have in our databases. But I always advise people, just check. You're smarter than the computer. Just make sure that it is actually correct. Well, that is how we do our reference list. And our reference list, as we talked about, is going to direct people back to our in-text citations. And now we've come to the point where you are wondering, wait, what in-text citations? Yes, I am sorry, but everything that you cite and quote in your paper needs to be cited in your paper as well as on the reference list. So when we're using in-text citations, We're going to use them when we're quoting an author, when we're paraphrasing them, when we're summarizing their work. And these in-text citations are going to direct the reader-grader back to our reference page, so they can see where you got your information from without having to stop in the middle of your paper and look at a big bulky citation. And you know, I'm kind of psychic because I know your next question. You're probably wondering, okay, I get why I have to do it now. Now, how am I supposed to do it? And I am so glad you asked. There are a couple of ways to go about doing it. The first being if you have the author's name in your sentence. So let's say you're writing your paper and you're using the author's name and referencing what they say. In addition to being a show about things that go bump in the night, Buffy is, at its core, a teen drama. As Richards' 2004 notes, Buffy's burden is announced to her and monitored by adults. But her world intersects with that of the vampires after dark, where adults are not and teenagers are. So I quoted from the article directly. And in that case, what I did was I gave credit to the author before the quote. I said, this is from Richards. Richards is saying it, so that can direct my reader back to my references list and my article written by Richards. The article was written in 2004, so they can see, okay, Richards 2004, in case you have more than one Richards, said this, and they said it on page 126. So that gives my reader an idea of where to go to find this quotation mark, to find this quotation if they needed to, and also where to find it in my references page. But maybe you don't always want to use the author's name in the sentence, right? It can get a little tedious to say so-and-so said, so-and-so wrote, so-and-so notes. That's okay. APA has a solution for that as well. So if we don't want to use the author's name in the sentence, what we would do is credit them at the end. For example, Buffy's ongoing relationship with Angel creates tension and drama throughout the series as she struggles to achieve intimacy with him despite and because he is a vampire. So I put my quotes around the wording that I put directly from the article, to achieve intimacy, and then at the end I noticed that this particular quote is from, again, Richards, 2004, page 126. So what this tells the reader is that this quote is from the article written by Richards. They can look at my references list and see that. The 2004 article, page 126. This is going to work if you paraphrase things as well. If you don't use direct quotes but use ideas from another author's work, this is how you would cite them as well. You wouldn't have to put quotation marks around them because you're not using the exact wording, but you still do need to cite even if you summarize or paraphrase. The goal is always of your in-text citations to direct your readers back to your references page. You want to make it easy for them to find where you found your information. And that's it. It's not too scary, right? That's how we create APA style papers. That's how we do our in-text citations and our references list. Do you still have questions? We completely understand. You can come and reach out to your friendly neighborhood librarians. We are here to help you and we're happy to do it. We've put our contact information at the bottom of the screen here, so you can call us, email us, text us, or if you go to our library website, you can open up a live chat with us as well. We are happy to answer all of your APA questions because we want to make sure that you have the best paper possible. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I hope you've learned something, and we will see you again really soon.